Councilmember Shoemaker.
It's a statement of work, City of Washougal East Street Improvements Project. It's about, it's the next page under, or second page under your agenda bill.
Yes, that's accurate. Convert existing travel lane to center lane, left turn lane. So it does reference the east or the diet portion of the project.
Okay, thanks very much. And it does use stimulus monies.
Negative.
Negative.
There's no stimulus dollars attached to the East Street project,
Oh, thank you.
short of the water line replacement for USDA that's in consideration right now. Right,
Different aspect, a different phase of the project.
right.
Thank you.
Other council comments? Okay, I've got a motion and a second to authorize the mayor to sign the CDBG agreement for the East Street Improvements Project. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No?
Motion carried. And moving to Agenda Bill 11710, update of personnel policies, Chapter 7 sick leave, Chapter 8 vacation leave.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. I've got two items. The first item is to amend Chapter 7 of our personnel policies for sick leave to reflect the recent change to remove the 25% payout option after 5 years of service for exempt employees hired after July 6, 2010. This was as adopted in the July 2010 update of our department head non-represented employees manual. Second item, to amend Chapter 8 of our personnel policies for vacation leave to reflect the recent change in the accrual schedules for exempt employees hired after July 6, 2010, as adopted in the July 2010 update of the department head non-represented employees manual. Recommended action is to read the resolution by title only and to post in the usual manner.
Mr. Mayor, I ask unanimous consent that we read the resolution by title only.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
A resolution amending Chapter 7 of the city's personnel policies regarding sick leave payout for exempt employees hired after July 6, 2010, and Chapter 8 of the city's personnel policies related to vacation accrual for exempt employees hired after July 6, 2010.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to pass and post in the usual manner.
Second.
Third. Second.
Got a motion and a second to pass and post the resolution in the usual manner. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Michael?
I wanted to thank the staff for bringing forward this amendment. I believe it is appropriate for us to review how much our compensation package is for all employees. Tonight, however, I will be voting to abstain, not because it's because I do believe that we need to change our policy. However, I disagree with one aspect of this, but not strongly enough to vote against it. So I just will be voting abstain. And the one element is the grandfathering in of existing employees. I can completely understand, and I mean this with no disrespect towards our staff, because we have an incredible staff that does a lot of very excellent work for us. However, if we're going to be serious about balancing our budget and taking a look at those long-term issues, I believe that it's necessary for us to not grandfather in the existing employees. Having said that, I believe we are taking steps in the right direction, and I thank you for that.
Other comments? Dave?
No, I don't have a comment.
No. Dave?
Thank you. I'm about to sneeze, so I also thank the staff for bringing this forward. I think it's a step in the right direction. I don't think it's a big enough step. And this has nothing to do with the performance of the current employees that we've got, and particularly the management employees. I think they're doing a great job. I have never been more impressed with a group of employees in an organization this size that work across departmental lines, pull together, do what's necessary. I've never seen that to the degree that I've seen here, except in combat, and I'm impressed. But I think that when you get around to the point where you're actually authorizing 3 vacation days a month, and I've forgotten what the sick leave portion of it was, but you're looking at people working 10 months a year. They're off 2 months a year between vacation time and paid holidays and stuff like that. You're actually working 10 months a year. And I don't think the city can afford that. And so I'll be voting against this with reluctance because, as I say, it's a step in the right direction. It's just not a big enough step. Thank you.
Rod?
Councilman Dolvar, I have a question. With all due respect, you decide to not vote yes or no quite often. Is there, in the Robert's Rules of Orders, I thought that it's just my assumption, that the only time you abstain is when you have a conflict of interest.
My understanding is that you are required to abstain in that case, but you always have the right. Robert's Rules of Order certainly states very clearly that you always have the right not to vote.
And so then that's the reason that you state your opinion before we vote, that you're going to abstain, because otherwise no one would know how you felt, yes or no. And where we all would vote yes or no against it, then at least the citizens would know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I came to that conclusion because when I first came on the council, we were doing things a little bit different, explaining votes after the vote versus explaining it beforehand. And I think it's appropriate to let the council know why I would be voting a certain way, and the public as well. That's the only reason why. Thank you.
But what does your abstaining do? I mean, you simply don't take a stance on anything then.
Well, what it does is it reduces the requirement for majority. So rather than my vote being a no vote, there's one less council member voting for that. It's a non-vote. It would be the same as if I were not here tonight for that vote.
Is that true?
Well,
I thought an abstention was
Depends
still present.
on what's being voted on. An ordinance requires 4 votes, affirmative votes. Something like this, a majority of the council members would be the appropriate, could be 3 to 2, or 2 people abstain. It could be less than 4, but an ordinance specifically requires 4 affirmative votes. This is not an ordinance, this is a resolution.
Other questions? Molly?
Yes, I will be voting in favor of this. I think the Human Resources and the staff have done a very good job at trying to be fair to employees. Furthermore, we know that labor costs contribute well over the majority of almost any city budget, and employee costs in general. And we do have 3 unions that will be coming under new contracts in the next couple of years, and that can be an enormous source of potential savings. It will be a difficult arbitration or a difficult discussion. However, I think that's an appropriate place to really hold firm.
Mr. Mayor, I agree completely with the comments by my fellow council member Costin. One thing I wanted to point out, though, specifically with regards to this is if we take the lead and accept at all levels a pay cut or a compensation cut, it would make us, put us in a far stronger position, I believe, to negotiate with the unions below us. One common comment that I've heard with regards to union negotiations is why should we accept a pay cut if the CEO is accepting millions of dollars in bonuses?